Welcome to the Wild Planet HD channel. Our episode today is The Australian Shepherd, the all-American dog you thought was from down under. Okay, so let's just jump right in with a question that seems, almost too easy. When I say Australian Shepherd, where does your mind go? Straight to Australia, right? Kangaroos, the outback, it seems like a no-brainer. But here's the thing. That name, it's probably one of the biggest curveballs in the entire dog world. The real story is way more complicated, and honestly, a lot more interesting. It's a journey that spans continents, but its final stop is, well, definitely not where you're thinking. So to really get to the bottom of this amazing dog, we're going to break down its story into 5 key parts. We'll start with that whole name mystery, then see how they went from farmhands to superstars. We'll look at their famous good looks, dive into that brilliant mind of theirs, and then wrap up with some really important stuff about their health. All right, first up, let's solve this mystery once and for all. Where did that name really come from? Here it is, plain and simple. The Aussie is not Australian, not even a little bit. This dog, as we know it today, is a 100% American breed developed right in California back in the 19th century. So, if they're not from Australia, why the name? It all comes down to the journey of their ancestors. The story actually kicks off way back in the 1500s with herding dogs from Spain. Think of dogs like the Carré Leonets, which has some similar looks. They hitched a ride to North America with Spanish flocks. Then fast forward a few hundred years to the 1800s. These dogs were mixed with other herding breeds, including collies that were brought over, you guessed it, with sheep from Australia. So the name Australian stuck not because of the dogs, but because of the sheep they worked with. Kind of wild, right? Okay, so this incredibly hardworking ranch dog wasn't gonna stay a secret forever. Let's look at how the Aussie went from being a humble ranch hand to a full-blown rodeo star. For more than 100 years, the Aussie was like the best-kept secret of the American West. It was a working dog, pure and simple, loved by ranchers because it could handle just about anything. Sheep, cattle, you name it. The public, they had no idea this dog even existed. That all changed in the mid-1900s. A rodeo guy named Jay Sisler and his super smart Aussies started performing these incredible trick shows. They were just dazzling the crowds. Suddenly, everyone wanted one of these dogs. And from there, it was a fast track to official recognition, finally getting the stamp of approval from the American Kennel Club in the 1990s. And that popularity, it absolutely exploded. Today, the Australian Shepherd is the 12th most popular dog breed in the entire United States. Think about that. That's a huge leap for a dog that was basically unknown just a couple of generations ago. All right, now let's talk about the thing that probably catches your eye first, that famous Aussie look. Their appearance is just as unique and captivating as their history. These dogs are real head-turners. Yeah, Aussies are just known for these striking, super varied looks. They've got this awesome, practical, weather-resistant double coat. You've got a thick undercoat to keep them warm and a tougher top coat that shakes off water and dirt. People always say that no two Aussies have the exact same coat, and when you see them, you'll believe it. They're a medium-sized dog, built for a long day of work, super athletic. You'll see a small size difference between the guys and the girls, with the males usually being just a bit taller. But that whole build is all about power and agility. And this is where that genetic diversity really shines, in their coats. You've got 4 main colors: blue merle, red merle, black, and red. But the variations are just mind-blowing. Each one can come with or without white markings or tan points. It's like a genetic lottery, and it means every single Aussie's coat is basically a one-of-a-kind piece of art. But hey, they're not just a pretty face. Behind those beautiful coats is a seriously sharp and active mind that absolutely needs a job to do. This is not a couch potato dog. The Aussie's personality, it's a perfect reflection of their working roots. We're talking about a dog that is incredibly smart, always active and playful, fiercely loyal, and pretty protective of its family. They can adapt to almost anything, but that powerful herding instinct, it's always there, right under the surface. And I'm not kidding about that herding instinct. It is so strong that even your family pet Aussie might decide your house needs a little management. Seriously, don't be shocked if you see your Aussie gently nudging the kids into a little group or trying to keep the cat cornered in the living room. It's not them being mean, it's just their inner ranch hand coming out to play. That intelligence also means they're a dream to train, and that desire to learn, it just never goes away. There's this amazing story about an Aussie named Pockets. At 15 years and 5 weeks old, Pockets became the oldest dog ever to earn a certain AKC title. It just proves that these dogs want to work and please you for their entire lives. Okay, with a unique genetic history like this, especially with those coat colors, we have to talk about health. And we need to talk about the serious responsibility that comes with breeding and owning an Aussie. So first, let's start with the good news. Aussies are generally a really healthy breed. A recent study found their median lifespan is almost 14 years. That's actually higher than average for a lot of dogs. So with good care, you can look forward to a long, wonderful life with your Aussie. However, we have to circle back to that Merle gene. It's what creates those gorgeous swirly coats, but it can also lead to big problems if breeders aren't careful. A double Merle is what happens when a puppy gets that Merle gene from both of its parents. And this is really serious. This genetic combination can cause major health issues. Double Merles have a very high chance of being born blind or deaf, or even both. They can have other severe eye problems too. This is exactly why responsible breeding is so important. A good breeder will never breed two Merle dogs together. It's absolutely critical for the health of the breed. So there you have it. We've seen the Aussie's incredible journey from the pastures of Spain to the ranches of America, from the rodeo ring right into our living rooms. Their story is just a perfect example of how a dog can go from being a highly specialized worker to one of the most popular companions out there. And that kind of brings us to a bigger thought, doesn't it? The Aussie's whole evolution, from a purely functional working dog to a cherished family member, it really mirrors a bigger shift in our world. It really makes you think, what does the journey of a breed like this tell us about our own changing relationship with dogs? I hope you enjoyed our episode and see you in another video.